Hello and welcome to Nailed On with John and Kris. Welcome to our Captaincy tier list, where we're going to go through all of the best options this week and help you with that all-important captaincy decision. So like last time, we're going to go through the fixtures, starting off with Everton. What are we thinking on DCL, Kris?
Yeah, not a bad option. Obviously, he didn't score in his last game. I'd say Burnley obviously just conceded 5 last week, but that was obviously away to City, so it's always a difficult game. They did keep 2 clean sheets before that. And Everton haven't looked the best. So an average option for me this week, John.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think even though Burnley have conceded 5, but prior to that, they were actually quite impressive defensively. And if I go to the bookies odds on DCL, he goes in at I believe a 13-8 chance to score any time, which is fairly high. There's going to be better options this week. So we both decided on a C tier for DCL. He's a value option, but hopefully you're going to have better in your team this week. So that takes us on to the second fixture, much nicer one, Man City at home to Fulham. We love this fixture, but why do we love it?
Well, I mean, Fulham might have, shocked everyone on Monday night against Leicester, but, what's shown this season is Fulham are really bad defensively. And Man City just put 5 past Burnley. So this is a really juicy fixture for anyone who owns Man City players. Or if you don't, should be prioritising getting the main man, Kevin De Bruyne, in for this fixture.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this is a resurgence in Man City's form where they were a bit dry at the beginning, but maybe 5 goals in the back of the net is going to kind of really help them. And as you said, there's no better option than KDB. He didn't play in the Champions League midweek. He's going to be the most involved man on the pitch in terms of every attacking play. So hopefully at least some assists like we saw last week. And in terms of goal scoring chances, he's even money to score a goal anytime. So combine that with the fact that he's going to be incredibly likely to assist. He should be on penalties as well, hopefully. He's an amazing option. But beyond De Bruyne, some people might have some other options on their team. Some people might be free hitting. Is there anyone else we should consider?
Yeah, we should just say, obviously, so KDB is obviously an S tier, goes straight at the top of the list. There's a few other, good City players that we can pull out. So obviously, Mahrez just scored a hat-trick last week, as well as you mentioned, Champions League midweek. So he did not play as well. Was obviously on the bench, but didn't come off. So Mahrez is probably a solid A tier this week, obviously based on that hat-trick last week, and he's very likely to get the start. A couple of others then, so Jesus and Sterling. So Sterling did play midweek, which obviously puts him at a bit more of a risk, doesn't it, John?
Yeah, I think on that basis, it's always tricky predicting what Pep's going to do. And even when we're seeing players with 90 minutes midweek, we can't just assume that means they're going to play. Yeah. So like the case for Sterling, he had his 90 midweek. I guess that makes him less likely to play this week. We can't assume that Mahrez is going to slot in. KDB, to me, feels like a 99% chance to start, especially given that he was rested midweek. So I think just playing it safe. In terms of the other options, we both agreed on Mahrez, who's likely to play. He would get an A tier, not quite the attacking potential of KDB, but obviously great form with that hat-trick in the last week. And for Sterling, if you want to take that gamble, he's going to drop down to a B tier because he did play midweek. And Jesus, what do we agree on Jesus? I mean, he's technically the most likely man to score on the pitch if he starts. So a really attractive option.
Yeah, so we did agree on A tier for Jesus. So as well, he did not start midweek. Obviously, Aguero is confirmed out for the foreseeable future. So obviously, it's very likely that he's going to start. And it's a good option for teams that are looking to free hit or are looking for a striker around that bracket. Great option this week.
Yeah, I mean, I still captain KDB over him, just to be clear. But yeah, as I said, free hit, brilliant option. So I think moving away from that really juicy fixture, that takes us following the order of the fixtures. That's going to take us to Man United. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, the man who has this incredible away form, almost a statistical anomaly. What he's doing at the moment, and part of me needs to question whether that can be sustained. With that said, do we still feel he's a good option?
I think you're right. I mean, statistically, it's obviously probably not going to be sustained. But I think current form, you sort of have to rate him highly. I think he's been in red hot form this season. Obviously, he did play midweek in a tough Champions League game against PSG, and West Ham looking pretty good form. So every instinct is telling probably you and myself, John, that he'd probably rate more of a B tier, but based on the form that he's been producing over the last several months, really away, I mean, we'll go for A tier on this, wouldn't we?
Yeah, and it is a bit of a tough call. Like, I mean, his anytime goal score odds are 17-10, which means he's less than 50% by some way. There's going to be much more likely options according to the bookie. And if you follow that logic, he would probably be more likely to be a B tier. But a lot of people are just going to put the captaincy on him. They're going to see his away record and think, "Yup, Bruno." I'm personally against that, and maybe it's been stinging me for the last however many game weeks he's been in the Premiership now. But yeah, he's a really good option. If you have no one better, Bruno is a good option there. So best of luck if you go for him. So on to the next fixture. Chelsea are at home to Leeds. So who are we think? So I mean, it's just Werner we're going to talk about here. Yeah,
I think a few of the other options. I think we might have mentioned Ziyech in a couple of weeks ago in the tier list, but I think now Pulisic is back. Now Havertz is back. There's some more rotation risks there. I think Werner's likely to get the start, but for me, it depends where it's going to be. Obviously, Abraham's been playing down the middle. Giroud just scored 4 goals yesterday, so has he got a shout to play down the middle? It's likely going to be Werner on the left, and that massively decreases the value for me. And this is why we put him on the B tier, wasn't it, John?
Yeah, I think he's a justified B tier. He's still got, according to the bookies, a good chance of scoring. I believe he's just over even money, so 21-20. He should be taking penalties as well. He won that from Jorginho, which is a good factor. But as you said, if he's on the left, that does devalue him. There should be better options. So B tier on Werner.
Yeah. So we move on to so Sunday then. So Leicester away at Sheffield United. So Jamie Vardy obviously disappointed thousands of managers on Monday, didn't he?
We put him as an S tier, didn't we?
We did put him as an S tier. And he's still got an attacking return late on, I guess. But that was a bit of an anomaly, I guess, that fixture. The stats will tell you this year that a lot of the points he scored has been away. Sheffield United, are they bottom of the league? I think they might be bottom of the league. They've obviously had a terrible start.
Oh, yes, they are. Sorry. Yeah.
So I've had a terrible start to the season. This could be a really nice fixture for Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, it's a good option. I mean, he wasn't like I stand by the S tier last week all day long. Obviously, KDB worked out, but I mean, there's going to be variance in the short term. Obviously, it's not always going to come through. This game, I mean, he's away. He's even money to score, so maybe a slightly better option than Werner in that sense. But there's nothing overly attractive against it. Sheffield are still fairly solid defensively, a fairly good team. They're just really quite underperforming at the moment, and I can't expect Leicester to put loads of goals past them, but a good chance for Vardy, even money to score any time. And a B team from the two of us. A B tier.
yeah. It's another one of those, isn't it, where it's borderline BA. But yeah, we've settled for B tier, haven't we?
Yeah, and that takes us on to someone with, again, a very similar chance of scoring to Vardy, which is Harry Kane, who's at home to Arsenal. Arsenal defence has not been great this season. We've seen some vulnerabilities, as Kris knows all too well as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, and I know. I know Harry Kane's record in this fixture as well. I think it's 10 goals in 11 games. So, yeah, it's going to be a penalty all day for Harry Kane. Obviously, there's a little bit of a doubt, isn't there, that he might not play. But I think it's a bit of Jose Mourinho mind games, to be honest. I think there's every chance that he will start, and there's a good chance that he'll score, as John said. 50% chance, A tier for Harry Kane.
Yeah, and bear in mind the added assist ability is kind of this new Kane where he's racking up so many assists this season. The connection with Son, it's likely we're going to see more of that. And Kane, if it sets up a dangerous attack, he's prepared to drop back, and some of the balls have been sublime. So a great chance for an assist as well. Brilliant option, A tier.
Yeah.
So next fixture, Liverpool at home to Wolves. And again, this is one you can't really go wrong by just putting the captaincy on Salah. Great option on penalties. Liverpool do have the vulnerabilities in their team, but I mean, outside Salah, there's no one else really to consider to this. There's not bad options, obviously Mane and Jota. But are we concerned about anything for any of these players?
No, so it's a bit of a differential pick, I guess. You could mention Jota and Mane, but yeah, for me, you can't look past Salah. It's a home fixture, which is obviously a lot of his FPL points is generally at home, which is proven over the last few years. So yeah, Salah's always a solid A tier minimum, really, and this is no different.
Yeah, he's 23 to 20 to score any time, so that's just below a 50% anytime goal scorer chance. So again, a really good option up there with some of the best this week. And he just seems a very reliable option. So I think a solid and safe A tier if you don't have the likes of KDB.
Yeah.
So moving on. So that takes us to, well, that is probably the last pivotal fixture we're going to mention.
No one from Brighton taking your fancy, John?
Well, we've both been stung by Mbappé for long enough.
Yeah, I'm not captaining him. I'm getting him out as soon as possible.
So you can see our tier list there, and S is so he goes to one man this week, and that is KDB. I think we're both going to be on him. We both have him in our team, no doubt there. So best of luck. Yeah, well, best of luck, everyone, in your captaincy decisions, and thank you very much.
Cheers, guys. See you later.